Hello everyone. We are just starting with the live online webinar for Oracle SQL with Multisoft Virtual Academy. First of all, I thank you all for joining the live online webinar for Oracle SQL with Multisoft Virtual Academy. Multisoft Virtual Academy excels in the domain of providing instructor-led live online training through WebEx or GoToMeetings to the candidates all across the globe. We are authorized training partners to Oracle, Microsoft, Cisco, Red Hat, IBM, Excelos, PMI, Ingram, and many other referred organizations. This live online webinar is being organized for all the participants to know that how the training, the actual sessions will be conducted for you all. In this free live webinar, there will be a live chat session wherein you will be able to connect with our domain expert, Mr. Pawan Mishra, and get to know about the latest industry standards of Oracle SQL. Giving a brief about Mr. Pawan Mishra, he has an experience of 12 years of working in this industry. His key expertise covers working as the Oracle trainer, along with the knowledge of IT service management, project management. He also holds an extensive experience of providing 9i, 10G, 11G trainings. He has also gained proficiency in handling DBA activities on Oracle 8i, 9i, 10G, and 11G installation, database server preparation, maintenance and troubleshooting on Linux and Windows operating system. Coming on to the brief of about the topic and agenda of today's live online webinar for Oracle SQL with Multisoft Virtual Academy. We will be covering the objective of the webinar, database concepts, what is SQL and its use in database environment, classification of SQL, what it joins in SQL, certifications related to SQL, tips and techniques in SQL for certification preparation. I hope you all will enjoy this live online webinar for Oracle SQL with Multisoft Virtual Academy. After this webinar, you will also be provided with a recorded session within 48 to 72 hours so that you can refer the same and clear all your understanding in a better way. You can drop us your inquiry at info@multisoftvirtualacademy.com or you can contact us on our 24/7 available numbers, that is +91 8130 66206 or +91 8130 66209. I hope you all will enjoy this live online webinar. Again, thanking you all for patiently listening to us. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Pawan Mishra, and I would like to hand over this host position to him so that he can carry ahead the live online webinar for Oracle SQL with Multisoft Virtual Academy. Thank you so much. Enjoy the live online webinar.
Hello everybody, myself Pawan Mishra, and today's topic is SQL management. SQL means structured query language. Okay, and by using SQL we are able to fetch the data from the database. We can put data inside a database, we can update data in database, as well as we can create a different type of structures in our data. The structure, if I am talking about the structure, we call it as object in our scenario. So what I am going to cover, I am going to cover the SQL, and SQL will be, I am using a software Oracle 11G to explain it. We will also cover it, the physical and theoretical aspects related to SQL or a relational database. Describe what is RDBMS, what is ORDBMS, and what is structured query language, and what are the different goals to understand this course. So starting with Oracle 11g. Oracle has different products, around more than 50,000 of products, and its database provides scalability, reliability, and a single platform for development model, common skills, ununified management, and it has one vendor that provides different types of environment. Like it has also provide data storage, it has also provide the application management, it has also provide the grid infrastructure as well as the storage part management, that is called ASM, right? So scalability means we can develop a program on a single platform, like we can develop a program on Linux. The same program we can implement in Solaris as well as on Windows operating system. So it is scalable to different of platforms. Reliability means it is a more reliable database, most safe database at present. And single development model means it provides a single environment to create different types of development applications, right? It is only a one vendor that provides database and the storage and the cluster part with a single machine, right? If we talk about the latest feature of Oracle, latest product of Oracle, that is Exadata. Exadata is a machine that provides database, storage, and application with a single machine. That is a hardware machine that provides all the features, right? So we are going to cover 11Gs. We are using 11G database, and in 11G database we are going to cover SQL, structured query language. This structured query language, which we are going to learn on Oracle 11G, we can also say structured query language. This is the same as we can say means structured query language in MySQL is same. Structured query language in SQL Server is same, but maybe there are some difference in syntax. Maybe possible there are some syntax, but the working of means the purpose of a structured query language is the same in all the database, right? Now, if we talk about Oracle 11G, Oracle 11G can provide object relational data. What is this object relational data? We will discuss it. It is also stores different types of documents, right? It will also stores binary types of data, means songs, videos, pictures, right? And it will also store text formats, different types of text you can store in varchar or char formats. Now, the question arises, what is database and what is data? Now, if we talk about data, data is what? Data is any type of information. Maybe that if you talk about your data may be built up of different information. Maybe some others data that can also be built up with some their own information. So for him there is a data, his information is also called a data, and for them that information will also called a data. So any type of information is called a data. Now, what is database? If we say collection of information, or we can say collection of data, that will not the right answer for database. Database means collection of relevant data, or we can say collection of meaningful information. Relevant means if that information is not valuable for your organization, then your organization will not keep that data in its database. So database means collection of meaningful information or collection of relevant data. Now, there are different mode or different media to store your data. You can store your data in electronic sheets, right? You can also store your data in file cabinets in a raw format, right? In a FileM format, as well as you can store your data in any types of database program like Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server, right? So there are different media to store your data. Now, in present scenario, there are different types of database model. One is unstructured database model, thereafter semi-structured database model, next is structured database model. If we talk about unstructured database format model, then the unstructured data usually refer to information that doesn't reside in traditional row and columns form. So right, means if we talk about unstructured data, that will not reside in as we store in rows and columns form in a table. If we talk about the examples, then unstructured data file can include text and media contents. That can also be emails or word processing document, videos, photos, audio files, presentation, web page, and many other kinds of business documents, right? And as we say, there should be a sort of file that can have their own internal structure, right? But they are still considered as unstructured because the data they contain doesn't fit nearly in a database, right? So if we are not keeping our data in a rows and column format, just like RDMS, we will discuss it. Then we will not call it as structured or semi-structured. It will call it unstructured. Now, if we talk about semi-structured database, data, semi-structured data are the database where data model where there is no separation between data and schema, right? Means data is coming from one end and is storing as it is, right? And the amount of structure used that are depending upon the data. The primary trade-off being made in using a semi-structured data model is query cannot be made as efficient as in a more constant constructs, right? Means theory means whatever the query is coming, whatever the query is coming, that is not typically stored in a traditional way, that is in relational database format. Now, structured, if we talk about structured database, whatever the data has been stored in a form of rows and columns, means we first define a structure before putting a data. We have to define a structure first. Thereafter, we will store the data, right? Now, if we talk about the database model, means first of all, data will be the structure should be created. Means if we talk about the structure, means first of all, table will be created and rows will be defined, means there will be following number of rows, and that will be the name of there will be following number of columns, and these are the name of columns, and these type of data type that columns will store, and this will the maximum length of your column. That structure you first have to define before putting a data inside the database, right? So when we talk about a structured database means, first of all, I have to define a structure. Thereafter, I have to put a data, means I am storing my data in a structural way, right? So if we talk about a structured database, and if we are going to learn SQL and SQL on the software we are using 11g, so 11g is a structural database, means it stores data in a structural format. Now there are following classification of this 11g database, means if we talk about a structural database, there are following classifications. First is DBMS format. DBMS means database management system. I am not going inside the theoretical concept or DBMS or RDMS or ORDMS. Just to understand, DBMS are set of programs that manages the database, right? Next is RDBMS. RDBMS means relational database management system. Means this is the database in which you can create a relationship between two objects. What relationship? Suppose this is one table, right? This is one table which is containing employees data, and this is another table which is containing departments detail, means departments data, right? This is employee, this is EMP table, and this is DPT table. Now in employees table there is a column labeled DPTNO, as well as in department table there is another column labeled DPT ID, DPTNO and DPT ID, right? This is DPTNO and this is DPT ID. Now there are some entries in DPT table of DPT column. In DPT column, let's say there are entries are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Now a new employee is joined in your organization and HR has created a data for that, and by mistake HR has written department number as 100. Whether it is right or not, it is not right, because it is not relevant information. Why? This department number 100 does not exist in DPT tables DPT ID column. So whenever next time HR will refer the information of that particular employee, HR will not get what exactly the department of that particular employee. Okay, so what you want whatever the data is present here can only be put here. So what you do, you will create a relationship between these two objects, or we can say these two tables. If I am saying objects, that means table, view, indexes, sequences, synonyms. If these names are not clear, then don't panic for that, right? We will discuss all this. Now we will create a relationship between these two objects, and that relationship will be created by using referential integrity constraint. right? Or we can say foreign key, in which one table will be treated as a child record, and another table will be treated as this will be child record, and this will be parent record, right? This is not child, this will be parent record, right? So as child maybe always inherit the property of its parents, so as we create a relationship between these two tables, so as you try to insert a value which is not present here, it will not allow. So you can insert a value whatever present in this particular column of DPT table into the DPT number column of employee table. So this relationship you can create in RDBMS, but it is not possible in DBMS, right? So this is the added feature of this DBMS, means when we create a relationship, then that will called RDBMS. Next is ORDBMS. If we talk about ORDBMS, so in short, this is a RDBMS as well as it follows all the concept of OOPS, object-oriented program, like polymorphism, encapsulation, operator overloading, function overloading, right? Operator overloading, right? All these concepts are also followed by ORDBMS. As we talk about the present scenario, all the software, if you talk about 11g or MySQL or SQL Server, all these are ORDBMS, right? Because they following the relationship concept as well as they are following OOPS concept as well, right? So next thing is relational model. As I have explained, relational model, user-defined data type and objects, fully compatible with relational database, support of multimedia and large objects, and high quality data server features. Right? As you know, relational database concept has been introduced and proposed by E.F. Cott in 1970. The relation model consists of collection of objects or relations, right? Set of operator as an action of relations, data integrity for accuracy and consistency. Now, as I have explained, this is the diagrammatically representation of that. This is department table and this is right? Now, as I have mentioned, we have to create if we want to create a relationship, then we have to create a column as a primary key, means whatever the column you are referring, that must be defined as a primary key or unique key, and where you are referring means in which column you are creating foreign key, that will refer this primary key column or unique key column. So employees tables department ID column will be referred as foreign key because it is referring department table department ID column, which is either primary key or unique key. Okay. So if we talk about object relational database model, it uses and stores data in a form of tables, right? You can access data from all over the world. Data will be stored in a single position, single place, where the data will be stored in the form of users tables. And Oracle, if we talk about Oracle Server also maintains user data in its format, that is called data dictionary or the metadata, means data about data, right? So this is the feature that is available in Oracle Server, that data metadata will also maintain for user records. Now, the main point of this total webinar. We can classify SQL in different categories. So starting with first, as I have mentioned that SQL can be classified in following form. First is DDL, data definition language. First is what? DDL, data definition language. As I have mentioned that this is a structured database. So what it means, whenever I am going to put data inside a structure, means inside a database, first of all I have to create a structure, means I can only put a data inside a database in a structural format. So the first thing that we have to do, we have to create a structure first, right? We have to create a structure first. So by using DDL, data definition language, we will create a structure, and whatever the activities we have to perform on a structure level, we will use DDL only. So the first command is create, right? By create command, you are able to create a structure. Okay. Now, the second thing is, suppose you have created a structure. Now, if same database has been implemented in US atmosphere, then the phone numbers are stored like this: 245.256.3248, like this. So if we want to put this type of figure in our database, we have to define this phone number column as character or varchar character, and the length should be 12. But if we want to implement same database in Indian atmosphere, then we will put a number like this: 962185216265, like this. What it means, we are not going to put any type of character in our phone number column. So what we need, we want to convert the structural components, what we want. Now in this case, what will happen? If we are going to insert this value in this phone number column, what will happen? We are going to insert numeric values, but internally it has converted into character, right? Which is called implicit conversion. So suppose we are going to insert such type of WinLex records. So there must be overhead, means there are overheads. So overall performance of your database will degrade, means overall performance of your insertion will degrade. So what you want to put this type of figure in your phone number column every time. So what you need to do, you just have to change your phone number column's data type as well as the size. Microsoft, Bhaskar's question is Microsoft. Basically, if we talk about Microsoft is a company and it has different types of products, right? It has also a database product that is called SQL Server, right? If you talk about SQL also implemented in SQL Server, SQL also implemented in Oracle database. Means SQL is the base to fetch and interact with the database. Maybe there are some syntax formation are different, but the flow is same. Means if you do insert table name. No, DBMS and SQL is not same. DBMS is a methodology. Some set of rules, on the basis of that rules, means that is exactly a theoretical concept. If we talk about DBMS is exactly a theoretical concept, means methodology by which we manage our database. And SQL is structured query language, the way to interact with the database, right? For everybody, Bhaskar's question is what is Microsoft and DBMS and SQL is same. This was the question exactly. So Bhaskar, I think your doubt is clear. Bhaskar, I want input from your side. Okay. Okay. Bhaskar is saying thank you. Now, the point is here, if I want to insert this type of number in my phone number column, so why there is need to put this phone number column's data type as char? Why we are not going to convert it as number? Means generally we are storing mobile number, so I just want to keep the name of column as mobile number, right? And the data type, every time I am inserting number value, so I have taken it as number, right? Now next thing is the maximum length of my data is 10. So why there is need to take 12 there? Why there? Just a minute. So why there is need to take number? Why there is a need to take char? So what I want to convert this phone number, the name of phone number column into mobile number and char column into number and the size to be 10. So what I will do, there should be a mechanism to convert it. So what I will do, I will convert it by using DTL, and the command will be the command will be alter. So by using alter statement, we are able to convert structural component, means what will the maximum length, what will the IP address, so I'm sorry, what will the name of column, what will the data type, and what the maximum length of your column. So as we are working on structural level, we will use DTL, and the command is alter to change the any structural part of your object. Next thing is truncate. Truncate means, suppose there are some data in your object and you want to remove it. As well as you also want to clear the memory as well. Whatever the space occupied by data, you also want to clear it. So what you will use? Truncate. Next command is drop. Drop will remove the data as well as the structure. But in case of truncate, the header will remain. But the data will be removed completely as well as the space occupied by the data. Next DTL command is rename. Rename means you want to rename your object. Suppose the previously name was EMP. Now you want to convert it as employee, right? So you will use rename. There is very big difference between alter and rename. If you want to rename your column, then you will use alter statement. But if you want to rename your object, then you will use rename command. Next is comment. Comment is what? Just you want to put a information over a table that what type of data this table stores. Means to seeing this comment, you are just able to recognize by what type of data this particular table contain. So these basically 6 commands covers in DTL: create, alter, truncate, drop, rename, and comment. So create, alter, truncate, drop, and rename and comment. Next is you have created a structure. Now what you want to modify your data, right? Or you want to work on data level, means you want to store data inside your database. Either you want to modify your data or you want to remove your data. You will use DML, data manipulation language, right? And the first command lies in data manipulation language is insert, right? Means by using insert command you are able to put data inside the object, and object is basic storage unit, which is table. So you want to insert in you want to put data inside your table, you will use insert command. Next is update. Update is what? Suppose your salary was 50,000. Now you got a 25% hike, 50% hike, your salary will become 75,000. Then how you are able to change this salary? Means you are going to work on data level. So as you are going to work on data level, you will use DML, and the command is update. Means whenever you want to change your data, you will use update. Next is, suppose there is a department ID 10, and means your company is no longer using department ID 10. They have removed that department from his organization. So you want to remove that data exactly where department ID 10 exists in your table, you will use delete. A question arises, I am also removing data by using truncate, and I am also removing data by using delete. What is the difference? Basic difference is we can use a restriction with delete clause, delete statement. Means if I want to remove department ID 10's data, then means if I want to remove department ID 10's data only, then we cannot use truncate. We must have to use delete, because whenever I am using truncate, that will remove all the data of your table, right? The second point is, when I am using truncate command, it is releasing the memory space occupied by the data. But when I am using delete command, it is not releasing the memory space. That space has been occupied. Right? For that, that's why a DBA's primary responsibility is to shrink the table spaces. So whenever a table space has been shrinked, then that space has been removed. Next is merge. Merge means I want to merge two objects. Suppose for one object is employee, EMP, second object is employee. There are two tables having same structure, means same column, same data type, everything, but should have some common record, both have some different record. What you want, you don't want to keep these two objects, means you don't want to keep data in two objects. What you do, you will merge EMP into employee, where on the basis of some common thing. Suppose a common thing is employee ID is also present in this employee EMP table, and employee ID column also present in employee table. Where employee ID matches, then it will update. When employee ID not matches, then it will insert. So by using merge command, you can use above 3 as well in a single command. Means where there is matching, then you are doing update or delete. When there are unmatching, then you are using insert. So DML, there are 4 commands, those are lying inside DML. Next is DQL, data query language. This is the new concept. Means in many of the books of old writer, you will get this select statement as a part of DML, but this is not the right thing. Means select is not a part of DML, because whenever I am firing a DML statement,
If we talk about Oracle, because I am an Oracle guy, I will only talk about Oracle. When I am firing a statement, means when I am firing a DML statement, either it is insert, update, delete or merge, the number of rows those are affecting by these statements, those on those rows, Oracle will apply a explicit lock to maintain a read consistency. Means whatever the rows are affected, a explicit lock will apply on that particular all the rows to maintain the read consistency. It means suppose there are 10 users are joining in your particular server, means there are 10 users are connected to your server, because it is a centralized database, data reside on a single position. Suppose you have updated some record, somebody came and that has deleted that record, right? So to avoid such type of situation, Oracle will apply a exclusive implicit lock on all the affected rows. So no other user can access for destructive purpose to the affected row. Those are affected by the DML statement. But this type of scenario will not apply on select statement. Means no, this type of lock has been applied on whatever the rows you have selected. So why we will put this select as a part of DML? So select is not a part of DML. Select is a different thing. Select is a part of DQA. Next part is DCL, data control language. DCL. Now the question arises whether you want to give a insert or update or delete or truncate, drop, rename or any type of privilege on a particular object to a particular user, right? If I am saying grant insert on EMP to HR, here EMP is a table, HR is a user. So what I am doing, I am giving a privilege of insert on object EMP to HR. So first command is grant. Second command is revoke. Second command is revoke. Means I want to take back that privilege from that particular user. Next, the last thing is TCL, transaction control language. TCL. There are three commands lies in this TCL. One is commit, another one is rollback, third one is save point. So first is commit, next is rollback, third is save point. Now I have said that whatever the command you have fired by using DML, that will make some change in data. As I have given example, suppose you want to make this 50,000 to 75,000. So what you need to do, you just have to use update command. Update is a DML command. Now whatever the changes you have made, means by making that 50,000 to 70,000, this you have made some change in your data. So whether you want to save it or not, if you want to save it, then you will use commit. If you don't want to save it, then you will do rollback. Rollback means you want to undo it. And save point will mark. Save point is just like a bookmark. You are making a mark on your transaction. Another thing is, as I am telling this as transaction control language, how it is controlling the transaction. As I have mentioned that whenever I am firing this DML statement, a exclusive lock will apply on the affected rows. And how that exclusive lock will release? That exclusive lock will release whenever I am firing this TCL statement. Right? So whenever I am doing commit, whenever I am doing rollback, and whenever I am doing a save point, that exclusive log will release. Means not for save point. Save point is just for a putting a mark on your transaction. These two will release your log. Commit, either commit or rollback. Right? So these are the means detailed abbreviation of your particular which I have shown in your this slide. The transaction control language, the data definition language, data manipulation language, data query language, data control language, and transaction control language. Right? Means this course will cover all these commands in detail. If we talk about alter will contain approx 10 to 12 commands, right? And there is a syntax as well. If we talk about create is also a syntax, right? Means all these commands will be covered in means how you can update different types of data, or what are the different ways to update or insert or delete. See, all means this SQL course will cover all these commands as well. And this course will also cover joins. Joins means displaying data from multiple tables. Right? Means if you want to display data from more than 1, 2 or 3 tables, then you will use joins. Next is subquery. Subquery means query inside a query. Suppose your salary is 50,000. Now HR wants to know the name of person those are getting salary more than you. So first of all, it has to get HR has to get the salary of yours. On the basis of your salary, HR will generate a report. Those have salary more than your salary. So you are using two queries, a query inside a query. HR is using two queries, query inside a query. Next is set operators. Next is functions. Functions will cover both single row function as well as multi-row functions. Right? Single row function and group function, or we can say multi-row function, or we can also say aggregate function. Right? We will cover constants. We will cover views, right? Indexes. We will cover sequences, synonyms, right? We will cover all these topics. Okay. So any doubt? Anybody has any doubt? These are the tables used in our structure. We will also explain the installation of Oracle on Windows platform, right? Okay. So I have finished my part. Anybody has any query or any doubt in total session, whatever I have told you? They can put a mark on your chat window. Okay. Okay. Bhaskar question is, what is the difference between DCL and TCL? DCL means you are controlling your data operation. Means you are controlling on data. So how you can control your data? By giving some types of privileges, some types of permissions. So by using DCL, you will provide privileges and permissions. Means as you are seeing in a slide, there are different types of commands: create, alter, drop, rename, truncate, insert, delete, merge, right? All these are commands, select. So either you want to provide these privileges on an object to a particular user, or you want to take that privilege. So for that, we will use DCL. And TCL, you are controlling your transaction, means whether you want to save your transactions, means whatever means transaction means whenever I am firing any DML command, then it will create a transaction in a database scenario, right? So whether I want to, means whatever the changes that transaction is making, means transaction means suppose you are updating, means you are withdrawing some amount from your bank. So what bank's scenario will be, if that transaction will successfully ended, then banks will save your accounts balance in your account, right? So TCL means controlling your transaction, DCL means controlling your permissions, controlling your queries, whatever the queries you want to run. Now the Dheeraj question is default nature to save data in Oracle. Data is stored the default way, means the main storage unit is table, and data always stored in a format of rows and columns. If you are fetching a complete row, then that will called selection. If you are fetching different columns, that will called projection. Dheeraj is also asking that Oracle uses commit statement automatically. Yes, whenever I am firing data definition language DDL, this is auto commit. This is auto commit. Whenever I am firing DML, data manipulation language, that we need to commit to save the data. But whatever the changes I have made by using DDL commands, data definition language commands, then that will use, that is auto commit. Dheeraj is asking, is log created for that commit statement, right, which I have fired automatically? No. If you want to create, logs has been created on database level, means we will say alert log and all these things, but we have the facility to roll it back. As I am saying, data definition language is auto commit. But suppose I have dropped a table or I have truncated a table, right? So there is a new feature included in 9i that is called flashback technology. By using flashback technology, we are able to undo that changes within a limited time framework. That limited time framework depends. This is little bit of higher type of thing. That time framework depends upon a parameter that is called undo retention, a storage unit that is called undo. On the basis of that, we can use flashback technology. By using flashback technology, we are able to roll it back. Any other question? Okay, thank you from my side as well. Okay, thank you all.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for attending the live online webinar with Multisoft Virtual Academy for Oracle SQL, Mr. Pavan Mishra. This live online webinar was an initiative to make you more familiar with regards to how the live online training will actually happen. I really hope that you all enjoyed the live online webinar with us, and we look forward for your participation in the training solutions with Multisoft Virtual Academy. For any inquiries or questions, you can drop us an email at info@multisoftvirtualacademy.com. We are also available on our 24/7 available numbers, that is +91 81306 or +91 8130 66209. I hope that you all enjoyed this live online webinar with Mr. Pavan Mishra. You will also get the recorded session very soon. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending this live online webinar with us. We hope to give you the best learning experience ahead. Have a great day ahead.